I'm a peaceful man. I love peace. I don't like, I'm made in a peace that was not meant to be. So I love peace. I don't bother nobody. I mind my business at all times. But there's always somebody else watching you, because it's like happiness is illegal. It's like there's certain people out here that have lots and lots of money. I mean, they have like in excess of millions and billions of dollars, but it means nothing internationally. It only means something in America. So they, technically speaking, they own America. But that's not going to help them, because whatever they have now, when it's time to trade internationally, that'll probably be half or quartered. More like quartered these days, because they're actually we're going into hyperinflation. So as we go into hyperinflation, that means that the value of our existing dollars goes down and down, because they're flooding the value of the dollar, and we have no trading power internationally. Which means that people have a false sense of confidence, or a puffed up sense of hope. It's not really based on anything that's tangible or viable in the international world market. So if you don't have gold, you're pretty much at a disadvantage. And not only that, there's certain people too that are looked at as a commodity. And I didn't think about this until a little bit later, but they're like, okay, so Taiwan is in the air. Japan wants the United States to keep an eye on China, because they're saying China wants Taiwan. Taiwan is where everything's made in. Everything's made in Taiwan. Those are the workers. That's the labor force. They're not going to kill them. You don't kill your labor force, because if you kill your labor force, you don't get the product. You don't get the service that's being offered, regardless of how it's given to you. Be it, like, okay, our state gets block grants. We get block grants, which means that right now the buses are free, because we get block grants to make sure that whatever's being given, if we need more, they'll give you more. But if we don't use up the previous block grant, then we don't get more next time. They want to know what's needed. So that block grant goes to the state, and the state disseminates it based upon the largest metropolitan areas. It's based upon necessity and need. So whoever needs the most goods, that's where it goes to. It goes to whoever needs it the most. Because I said, well, how are we doing this? But see, I realized that if they charge bus fare at least $1 a day, that's $30 for 30 days. $30 can make or break you these days. $30 can make or break you. So right now, I'm getting ready. I'm lucky that it's summertime, because I'm gonna start eating. It's almost time for these blackberries. Blackberries, you got I think those are mulberries that grow on the top of the trees. They're not as good as the blackberries are good. But the ones on the trees ain't got no thorns. The ones on the bottom, the blackberries, they got thorns, yo. You might eat a blackberry and be like, that's good. Oh my God, I pricked my finger, that's my blood. You know what I'm saying? But then they got the blackberries. It's a lot of poke salad out here too. Oh my God. I'm gonna be poke salad up. I got me a stovetop burner. I need degrees. But see, there's certain poke spots. Poke salad spots. And I gotta remember them. I forgot. The poke salad grows off of dead animals. It grows off of dead things. Which means that I ain't gotta eat no meat, because the plant ate the meat. The plant ate the meat. I eat the plant. And the plant ate the meat, so I'm getting that. I'm getting that nitrogen elemental. I'm getting that amino acid protein breakdown in the plants. But poke salad is good. All you need is a little salt. So really, I realized that I've overcomplicated my life. It can be very, very simple. I just need to invest in salt. I need salt right now. And oodles and noodles is like, I hate them. Yeah, I hate them. But I will eat them. I'd rather have vegetables any day. But I need that salt though. I need the salt, or my body I'll have issues. I need salt. I've actually cramped up, I've actually walked and cramped up. Muscles lock up, I'll be like, oh. I mean, for real, it is no joke. When your leg cramp up and you can't pull it out, and then you try to just freeze and stop me, like, don't move. And it'll be like, no, it's too late now. You can be still all you want. I got you now. You be like, oh, I know. And then you'll move it a little bit, and that muscle pull, be like, you're like, utter pain. You don't know no pain like that daggone hypo salinity. when your salt levels are low. That's a pain. It's a pain. It's like a T-pain pain. It's like D-pain of all pains. No, it's not D-pain, but it's a very bad pain. So what I realized is that I'm gonna start getting poke salad. They got honeysuckles. Eat those too. Honeysuckles, poke salad. And it's good. Like I say, he said, pray your flight be not in the winter, because then ain't nothing growing. So I mean, and these are perishables. That's why I feel like, you know, grocery stores work the same way. Like whatever you order a lot of as far as perishables, they'll keep it coming. Farmers can't wait to give their stuff away because they only have a season to sell it. Really less time than that. So the more veggies you buy, the grocery store gets a deal from buying from the farmers. They'll sell it to you at a better wholesale price. So it's almost like saying that I would sell it if they would buy it. Like that. It's funny, the irony. The Roots album, they said they would come if you would have something that they could actually use. You know, they'll sell it. Like lettuce is like 88 cents. It's seasonal. It's 164 now. A head of lettuce is 164, but it was 88 cents in 2021. But it's gone up to like twice. Actually, 164 is what? That's 2 cents more than 88 cents. You know what I'm saying? So really, where I'm seeing it is like there may be a chance of the price of it going down, but that's a lot of money for lettuce, yo. $1.64. That's a lot. But see, with central bank digital currency, you'll be able to get that. It won't be a price on it. It'll be you get what you need. You'll be able to get what you need. You won't have to, really, you won't pay for anything. The exchange will be for the service you provide, the labor. Not so much laboring. You ain't really out of labor. It's just long as you provide a service. And with that being the case, it's more so you can get whatever you need. I'm not advocating for it, but I'm not gonna fear it. And I know it's looming. I know it's on the horizon. It's coming. I know it's coming. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So with that being said, I'm more so inclined to be optimistic about it, because I realize that some people have it right. Japan makes the Prius car, the electric car. But they can cut that car off. If you got GPS in any of your cars, they know where you are. They know where you are. They're tracking you now. They put GPS in the cars to find out what your travel habits are, to watch your travel habits and your spending habits. If America's travel habits and spending habits don't meet up to how much they're paying their debt internationally, then there'll be limitations on that. Like saying that you travel, like the collective sum of people have traveled in this direction, that direction, and they've made this much money, and they've spent money on this, that, and that. Because the way the CBDC works is that whatever you buy, it'll be documented. You won't be, the only thing you can buy without them documenting is DRUGSs. And when you buy that, if all you have is CBDC, then that means they'll document that. And there is a looming confrontation there that I will not speak of now. Because no one's going to be outside of the central bank digital currency. Not even the so-called DRUGS dealers. Because there's a certain place that has dealt with the OPIUM, and they've seen the ravaging effects of it, and they're not having it. I don't think they're going to have it. Because you can't WORK like that. And they need WORKERS. So if you're on DRUGSs and you're not WORKING, and the people that are SELLING, the DRUGs to you, then they got to get going, because they're dilapidating the viability and the physical health of workers. Workers, think about it. During slavery, you weren't allowed to drink. You couldn't get drunk as a slave. A drunk slave don't get no work done. You were not allowed to use drugs as a slave. A drugged out slave don't get no work done. You got to be healthy. And that's good for you anyway, because through work you find your life's purpose. I have no problem at all. I have no problem at all with it. I am not salty or bitter, because most of the cases of bad health came after the so-called freedom, when you were free to be dumb. You were free to be dumb. You don't have liberty. You have freedom. You're free to be dumb. So technically speaking, it's almost like with the in Mexico. Mexico, they outlawed slavery. But the Tejanos was like, no, keep slavery, because it was like, if you killed somebody's slave, there's liability for that. So technically speaking, you don't want to outlaw slavery. You don't want to outlaw slavery. Because if you outlaw slavery, then that means that there's no liability for certain acts of aggression. So you want to maintain the slavery because then there's a liability and there's a accountability that's necessary for that. So the way I'm seeing it now is kind of funny, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like Jay Electronica. He was like, he said, if rappers like blacks in the 60s, then I'm a white cop in riot gear ready to hold us down. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The music is terrible, yo. The music is terrible. I mean, it just doesn't do anything. I'm like, if I'm not gonna feed my body, then at least feed my mind. I'm starving on all fronts. You know what I'm saying? And they got these bananas out. I'm getting these bananas, yo. I'm getting these 55 cents a pound. They got 55 cents a pound. But see, I want the ones that come from the Honduras. They got the ones that come from like Guatemala. They all right. But even the ones from Guatemala is better than the ones over here in Walmart. Walmart got some terrible. That bananas are bad. You gotta put the bananas, when you buy the bananas, the 4011s, you gotta sit them somewhere about 2-3 days. They ain't ripe yet. They take them out of the box too soon, and the ethylene gas ain't kicked in. I need the soft bananas. I'm gonna have bananas and crackers, yo. Bananas and crackers, yo. Get you a box of crackers for like $1.55. Them chings, $1.55. Get you a bunch of bananas, like what? You can get like 8 bananas for like what? Maybe like $2, couple dollars, maybe dollar, you know what I'm saying? About to be on. It's about to be on. I'm about to be that banana eating too. It's about to be on. You know what I'm saying? And that potassium, see, when women go through like their monthly menses, they need potassium, they need magnesium. Magnesium helps ease your menses. That's in greens. It helps ease it. Like, you know, some women go through real and see the meat does that. They put so many hormones in the meat to make the animal grow fast that when young girls eat the meat, they develop faster and they have earlier menstrual cycles. So it's actually mutating people. Eating that meat, it mutates you. And the last thing you need in these days and times is extra children from your own children. Well, my children have children. They eating that meat, that chicken, pumped up with hormones. And they all hot and ready like Little Caesar's pizza. They hot and ready. You don't want that. You don't want that. But it works for certain people. So certain people, they sponsor the labor force. And who would that be? Democrats. Democrats sponsor the labor force in the sense that they use a majority of people to advocate a minority opinion. Republicans, on the other hand, they're like, yo, repopulate. They're all about the word republic means to repopulate. But it's funny because China's called a republic, but you're only allowed to have one child. So it's actually a misnomer. I don't understand. It's really wild. A republic is where you're actually sponsored to have as many kids you can take care of, like saying that if you can take care of them, have them. But because they're probably subsidized, China is, you know, they're subsidized or taken care of by the government. Like, yo, you can't have them kids. We're taking care of everything. But like I say, the history behind that is more so like sweatshops getting paid like pennies a day, but it adds up. It adds up collectively. It adds up. And so everyone's suffering. Everyone. Never get the Chinese people and the Chinese government mixed up. They're not the same. They are not the same. The governments are total. They are entities all in themselves. They are their own entities. They don't care about anybody. You might be that dude that work. You might be right in the front door. They don't care. They don't care. They are like a faceless entity. You'll never see them. You'll never see them. You'll just feel the effects of their legislation and what they decree. You'll never see them. You know what I'm saying? So the way I'm getting to right now, you know what I'm saying, I'm just more so poised to actually get myself into a position of just like lower your expectations. Because when you expect certain things, therein comes the letdown. If you don't expect nothing, then you can't be let down. See what I'm saying? It only gets, everything is a blessing. Anything that you get these days and times, you can't take it for granted. None of it. None of it. So yeah, it's really amazing though. And these videos are going up now.